Hey, my name is Alec Wenzel, and today I'm doing a quick start guide to pedal signal flow. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. My channel is really new, and so a like and a quick subscription would go a long way. It's free to you, so please give that a click. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into it. What order should your effects pedals go in? Now, I'm going to give you this order in about 30 seconds after a quick disclaimer. And that disclaimer is there's no right answer to what order your pedals should go in. The only things that matter are your goals as a guitar player. The order that I'm about to go over prioritizes note clarity and clarity that the effects have on those notes that you're playing. That doesn't mean that you couldn't want to rearrange effects in different orders so that you can get distorted repeats from your delay, or you could want to modulate the echo of your reverb. Those are different ways to route effects to get effects that you're looking for. I mainly use the order I'm about to describe to you when I'm playing live because I am more focused on note clarity in that moment. But there are times in the studio where I am ripping pedals off of my board to route them in different ways or put them in stereo, and that's really cool too. So, with all that being said, let's remember that this order that I'm giving you is for note clarity and effect clarity on your notes. It doesn't mean it's the be-all, end-all, or the exact right way. All right, with all of that being said, we need to understand that our effects fall into three major categories. Those categories are boosts and drives. That's followed by modulation, which is going to be your choruses, tremolos, phasers, and univibes. And then finally, time-based effects, which are going to be delays and then reverbs. And that's the order that your pedals should go in, right? Now, you can mess around with things inside of those categories, but in general, it should be category 1, boosts and drives, category 2, modulations, and then category 3, time-based effects, delays and reverbs. Now, not every effect pedal falls into those three categories that I just gave you. Some common ones that I see that fall outside of those categories are going to be pitch bending effects like a whammy pedal or a pog, a vintage fuzz like a fuzz face or a tone bender, and finally compressors. All three of these, for the most part, need to come at the very front of your signal chain so that they see the guitar first. Pitch bending effects typically need to be first to aid with tracking. Tracking refers to the accuracy with which your note is followed by the pitch bend effect. Sometimes when you're playing with a whammy or a pog, you'll play a note and then you'll hear a significant delay between your note being played and the pitch bent note following it. If you want to decrease this delay, moving that kind of effect earlier in the signal chain or first in the signal chain will help decrease that delay between your played note and the pitch bent note. Vintage fuzz pedals like fuzz faces or tone benders typically need to come first in your guitar pedal chain because they don't play well with buffers. Buffers are present in most modern guitar pedals, and they help to condition your guitar signal and push it over longer lengths of cable without a loss of tone or volume. While this is desirable in most cases, it can decrease the volume or gain that a fuzz pedal gives you because it's meant to be seeing your guitar first and reacting to your guitar's volume knob. And finally, compressors need to come at the beginning of our chain because they make everything louder for better or worse. This means that if we put a compressor after our drives, it will increase the background hum that gain makes when we kick on a fuzz or overdrive. We want our compressors before that in our chain to increase the sustain and volume of our clean guitar signal, not to increase the volume of our gain background hum or digital artifacts from other modulation pedals. Well, what do we do if we have all three of those effects in addition to those other effects categories that I described earlier? Well, we're going to want to put the fuzz first so that it can see our guitar. Then we're going to want to put our compressor in so that it's not increasing any sort of volume or weirdness coming from the pitch bending effect. And then we'll have whatever our pitch bending effect is. Unfortunately, unless you have a switcher that can pull things in and out of the chain, you might just have to deal with the fact that that fuzz is going to come in and make a little bit of extra noise when it hits the compressor, but that just sort of is what it is. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices on your guitar board for tone. All right, and so here we're looking at my board, and this is just to sort of show you how you can follow those basic signal rules that I laid out while still breaking those rules where it kind of makes sense to. First up in our chain, we've got a vintage style fuzz, the High Road Fuzz, which is a Joey Landreth signature fuzz from Mythos Pedals. It's amazing. I did a video on it. It'll get linked up in the corner here and then down below. This is the Argonaut. It's a vintage octave up pedal, also from Mythos. Both of these are amazing, but they're vintage style and they have to sit at the very front of the chain or buffers later will mess with them. Next up, we've got the Valve Screamer, which is a TS10 clone. And then finally, we have our first rule break. This is the Red Panda Tensor. Now, this is kind of a pitch shift delay. This is also kind of a glitched loop delay. So it could sit at the front as a pitch shifter, or it could sit with the other delays. But because I'm using it as a glitch looper and I want to hit it with modulation and other styles of delay later, then it gets to sit a little earlier in the chain. So that's why that's where it is. Next up, we have the Synesthesia. This is an awesome catch-all modulation device. Then up in the right-hand corner, we have the Deco, which is kind of modulation, kind of overdrive. This is another rule break. It sits up there kind of with the modulation devices because of the right side being a tape warble side, but I still use it a lot as an overdrive up in that right-hand corner there, and it sounds amazing even though it's sort of after some of the modulation I'd be using. Next up, we use the Gravitas. That's a tremolo pedal. And then finally, we have an analog and a digital delay. Analog delay from the Thermi and digital from the Chrono. And then finally, we hit the Big Sky Reverb at the very end there. Here is what some of that sounds like. This is the Deco's overdrive side going into the Thermi analog delay and then into the Big Sky's reverb. Now that analog delay is set a little bit more aggressively than I would usually have it, but that's just to sort of show off all of the sounds that are available. Let's hear what that chorus sounds like before that overdrive. Now let's hear it with a drive from earlier in the chain. Here's that Joey Landreth fuzz. See, that was an example of a drive before the chorus and an example of the drive after the chorus. So, you know, there's some leeway here. You can move things around, but I just wanted to give you guys all the examples of what we could kind of hear and what we could kind of see. All right, and that was a quick start guide to pedal order. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, please remember that there's no hard and fast rules here. I like to follow this order because I'm looking for cleaner tones, but if you're looking to distort your reverb trails, you should definitely do that. I don't think that there's any bad answers here, and remember, if it sounds good, it is good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want to hear more sounds from me and see more of my pedal board builds in the future, or check out any of my pedal reviews, like and subscribe. That's the best way to keep up with what's going on here. And thank you guys so much again for listening. I hope to see you again. Bye.